Should hold
Project.
up one of your pistols like the guy on Narcos and say that it's your peacemaker.
I'm wearing a mask so you guys don't catch COVID. Just kidding. I don't give a fuck. Okay.
You're saving everyone's lives. I don't give a fuck either. I really don't.
I'm drinking. There's probably not even any viewers yet. I don't even know where you see that at on the computer.
On the computer, right up in the top left where it says live, there should be a counter, and then it'll say like the little eyeball, and then it'll tell you how many.
Yeah, there's no eyeball.
There's no eyeball?
There's no eyeball. The eyeball's
Oh, man. What did you do?
Oh, fuck, I don't know. I just clicked on your fucking link. You fucked it up.
Well, that's very possible.
See, now I can't see who's here, so I can't give David his, much welcomed introduction.
There's only 2 people. One of them's probably Monica, if I were to guess. If you're out there, please shout yourselves out because
it doesn't comment over here.
It doesn't tell me
who's how many you are.
Yeah, it doesn't tell me either. It's kind of weird.
I'm sure.
I figured out how to view it. Cool.
Most people, when they do jump in, most of the time say something. So, well, if anybody's watching, hi.
Oh, Girth's woman friend is watching. I don't know why.
Where the fuck is Girth?
He's at the beach.
God fucking damn it, Girth.
He said he had to take his son for like family bonding or some bullshit.
Tell him he's gonna learn what it is to fucking see an American and a fucking Australian bond if he doesn't get on here. Hi, Jerry. Welcome to the fucking show. Just kidding.
That one's for David.
Yeah, it is for David. Does everybody know who he is? Does he know that they know the correlation
between
you and
David
Jerry?
And welcome to the fucking show?
Oh, you and Jerry.
He's been in videos before.
Oh, okay. Jerry, I know at some point I was supposed to call you or something, and I'm completely sorry because I totally lost your phone number. I swear to God it wasn't intentional. But since you're here, Jerry, Nick didn't tell you I got a new Ram. I got a 2021 5th gen. I know you're a Mopar guy. Big horn, crew cab.
Nice.
With the 6'4" bed.
I won't take anything less.
That's a thing to accomplish. That long bed is tough to find.
Oh, crew cab long bed? Yeah. That's why I have the truck that I have.
Yeah.
Because
I lucked out and got it in a half ton. I even brought my fancy key fob along. Look at that.
Oh, you got the push button start.
Keyless start.
Yeah, see, I got that for the wife's Jeep.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait.
I know that back in Generation 4, they were doing that for the Laramies. But now
you could get it in the Bighorns, but it's kind of
all the Bighorns have it. Hi, Monica. Hey, Isaiah. What's up, buddy?
We don't have anything special.
Glad to see you here. Oh, he did tell you. Okay, cool. Couldn't remember if he did or not.
Was I supposed to?
I don't know. Life has been a whirlwind since we moved, so.
Oh, we got Garrett's girlfriend's last name now.
Yeah, I'm here because Garrett's doing the dad thing. Well, goddamn it, Girth. I know his name is Gareth, but I call him Girth.
It's his new official name now.
Exactly. So what's been new work-wise? What's been happening your way? I know we always started with like kind of a recap work-wise.
Yeah, we haven't done this in a while. We just stopped one day. Yeah,
it was like we did one, and then we were like the next couple of weeks, like, hey, we haven't done it, and we're like, yeah, oh well.
Well, when I say we stopped, I really mean I stopped.
Yeah, well, I was.
I don't think you were far behind me.
Talk about boat starter motors for him. Okay.
Talk about boat starter. I don't know anything
we'll
about
mention
boat
that at
starter
some
motors.
point.
You apply 12 volts to it, and it turns the flywheel and starts the engine.
Yeah, but I wasn't really pushing for it myself either. So
no, we both took a big. Well, I was gonna say we took a hiatus, but quite honestly, I have quit pretty much all social media.
Which, damn it, phone. Sorry. Which as have I. I don't have Instagram anymore. I don't have Facebook anymore. And it's not like it's not a
political thing. I don't know if that's what you were gonna say.
Well, no, that's not what I was gonna say. But I mean, no, it's not really because I'm so upset of how things went. It's just I'm so tired of stupidity being welcomed like it's intelligence. But it's not like either like I just click deactivate, where you can log back in and it comes back up. Mine is removed. It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore.
Mine is not removed only because I deleted the app off of my phone, and quite frankly, I don't know the fucking password to get in to deactivate it on the computer. So I'm like, well, it can fucking sit out there and the sea of nothingness.
The reason I went that route. I'll get to you in 1 second, Jerry. Sorry, I'm not going to ignore you. Where was I at? Oh, the reason I truly like went through with the whole deletion is because I had like apps that like I logged into, like it was like, log in with Facebook and stuff that I did that was easy. Well, I found out that if I just deactivated it and I used those apps and they required logins because I got a new phone not too long ago, it would bring the Facebook back. And I got tired of it continuously regenerating.
I use the Google for all that, like the apps, because a lot of times it'll give you the option Google or Facebook.
What?
We have something funny for you.
What do you mean you have something funny for me? This is going to happen in the middle of a live stream, so I don't know what's going on right now.
No, wait, gotta move in. We have more.
Yeah, there's more.
Did they send both fucking orders?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny story here. Okay, we're gonna hit this because it's happening right in front of me. We ordered Red Lobster from DoorDash. They brought out. I've spent $100 on food. They brought out a $24 fucking order. So we put in another one. Well, now both $100 orders have showed up. There's 2 of them instead of 1. So I have 2 giant bags of fucking Red Lobster and 8 cans of pop.
Okay.
I'm not upset by it.
So lobsters at your house?
What's that?
Lobsters at your house?
Here's dinner, buddy.
Yeah. There's lobster and all kind of good shit in there.
Oh, shit. He's coughing. We all got it now.
Yeah, he's got COVID. He just gave it to me. I'm going to give it to you guys because I don't have a mask on.
We're all fucking dead.
Hello.
Brenda, we don't want you in there.
You know what, Winston? Calm it down. Hi, Nick.
Casey said hi, in case you didn't hear.
Hello, person. I don't know.
Hello.
All right, sorry about that. I'm a Sparky.
Why the hell do I have a little Wi-Fi emblem? What the hell does that mean? Connection is unstable.
I have no fucking clue, truthfully. All
Monica,
right,
get off
Jerry.
the damn television.
All right, made out with your other one because I didn't hear back. He said, "Don't fucking worry."
Here, I can put it on the. I can put it on the thing.
That sounds like a Nick response.
There you go.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, it wasn't intentional, truthfully, that I didn't get back to you. I sincerely do apologize. I know I was. I'm really bad. Truthfully, it's like, everybody makes the excuse, work is this and that. Yeah, I literally probably could have gotten back to you. But I'm really terrible with it, truthfully, sometimes. So that is my sincere apologies. I swear it was nothing you did wrong or anything against you. I just want to make that clear because I'm thankful for the effort you made to assist me. The other one actually did settle down before I got rid of it. I don't know whether it was a fluke or maybe because of when I moved, the driving route I changed, so I wasn't noticing it as much. I'm not 100% sure. I love the new one. Truthfully, I love the new one top to bottom, left to right. As I said, I got the Bighorn. It's the crew cab, the long bed on it, which I was stoked to get. It's nice having the rear sliding window now. I mean, I got the heated seats and steering wheel and stuff, and the remote start's nice. I absolutely love the 5th gen. I do. Like
you
I
have the
said, I don't know
LED
whether
headlights or you have the halogen?
I have halogens.
I like
Which
them
I'm
better
okay
with
with.
the LEDs.
I do like them better with the LEDs, but with trying to get one with the long bed, it just wasn't happening.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're going to go full on Laramie and spend a lot of money.
Right, and I wasn't doing that. So, there have been some that have popped up here and there that have had the LED headlights, but they cost just as much as a fucking Laramie, truthfully.
Yeah, well, it's that
so-
long bed crew cab.
Yeah, that's a really tough thing to find. But yeah, I love the truck through and through. I don't know whether there was actually an issue with the MDS or the transmission in the last one. Because I know those were 2 things that we had talked about, Jerry. But I like the way this one is it's certainly not afraid to turn MDS on, but it's so much more responsive when turning it off. Like when you got to hit the gas and go, it's on it, it's ready to go. And I think that's partially too because this one I drove off a lot with 60 miles on it. My last one had 25,000 miles on it when I bought it. So this one's adapting to me and my jackassery of driving. So,
Well, at least you can admit it. I was doing donuts in the front yard with my 4-wheeler before the show.
The long bed, Jerry. So on a half, basically my half ton is the same length as Nick's 3/4. It's a crew
Doubt
cab
it.
with that 6'4" bed, roughly. It's not exactly the same, but it's that having that big cab, which I think your truck has. If I'm wrong, Jerry, please run. Not the long bed necessarily, but the crew cab. But for a
He's
half
got
ton,
a
that's
quad cab long bed.
he has a quad cab. Okay, so if your truck, Jerry, typically if it had the crew cab, you would have. Don't quote me
Bigger
on the
back
link here.
seat.
Yeah, it would be like a
You're
5'4"
like
bed or something, or a 5.5 foot bed or whatever,
5'7".
something like that. But mine's it's 6'4" with the bigger back seat still. So I have the same bed length you do, but I have the same cab size as Nick's truck.
I've got the mega cab.
Or
So
not
your back
mega
seat.
cab.
Yeah, your
But-
back seat goes right to the back of the cab there. Mine there's 13 inches behind my back seat.
Yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting you have a mega, but typically your typical
My truck's over 25 feet long. Yours is probably about 22?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I notice it. You know what I mean? Driving one that was just a quad cab before, I noticed that bigger cab on the back. Just as something as simple as going through a drive-through, I fucking
parking lot.
curves all the time.
Yep. Drive-throughs and
especially
small.
small parking lots are a curse because it's like if I stay within the parking space, behind me, my fucking front end sticks way out, and I don't want that. So sometimes I just gotta double park the shit.
That's what I do. I take the spot behind me because, quite honestly, the way that I look at it, if I put the nose of the truck out into the aisle, I'm impeding everybody. If I put the back of the truck into the space behind me and you park behind me, you're
person.
a fucking idiot. Well, you're a fucking
Yeah,
idiot because there's 500 open parking spaces. Find somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. So
Because I park at the back of the lot.
I typically do too. I stay away from everybody.
Monica will
at
tell
work,
you.
Parking is very, very limited. If you still have my number, Jerry, send me a text so I'll have yours. If you want to know about the 5th gen, I'll tell you about it. If you don't, that's fine too. I don't care. It has more shit in it than I'll ever fucking use. There's a new thing that I have that there's 2 buttons for it, and you can put the brake pedal and gas closer to the floor or raise it up. Like,
yeah, were you moving further and closer? Yeah.
right. And I was like, dude, that's
Do you have
beyond
the profile
mentality.
set up on the door where you've got the 1 and the 2?
I don't know. Truthfully, I haven't.
I think it's either on the door or right there by the headlights or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's something I've heard that the newer ones have. I just haven't looked for it. Truthfully, I'm the only one that drives it, so I don't really care. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I figured out what I need day to day, and that's kind of how I go with it. The
Yeah.
book, I have the book. It's so fucking long that I couldn't motivate myself to read it.
Oh, because it covers every truck from a 1500 to a 5500.
Yeah, and everything from a fucking tradesman to a fucking limited. So
Oh, it's great. I read the book cover to cover on mine. It's got stuff in there about like if you're gonna put a bucket on it and do this, or if you're gonna put outriggers on it, it's like holy crap.
the only thing I pay attention to is the maintenance section. What does Chrysler want me to do? And that's it. That's what I care about. Make her happy.
Only care about that until the warranty expires.
I have 2,700 miles or something on it right now, so it's still damn new.
It's funny. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was to say I don't have the 20-inch wheels anymore. Though. I have 18s now. They're not 17s like they were put on the 4th gens. They're 18s, but I'm okay. I'm kind of okay with that because I thought about changing my last truck to 18s just for, to put beefier tires on it. But so now I have 18s.
I'm gonna level mine, put 37s on it. It's not nearly tall enough the way it is.
Yeah. Mine seems to be just about as tall as my last one.
Shouldn't be too much of a height difference between the two.
Mm-mm.
I mean, they're both 1500.
In fact, my last set of tires were 275 65 20s. My current tires are 275, I think 55 18s or something like that. So the tires are still pretty, fairly large or something. Well, okay, Jerry, I just got your text. Thank you. Caleb, listen, we have a term for him that we're not going to mention in this video.
We're not going to use that because he uses his name.
Yeah, I got your name now. I got your first name, motherfucker.
We must not give it to Casey.
I'll give it to everybody. Thanks for joining, though, Caleb. I appreciate it. I might call you Hudson because I really don't like calling you Caleb. I know you as Hudson, so we're going to call you that. But thank you for joining.
I still like the idea of sending him a wedding invitation addressed to not Leslie.
Yeah, because I don't know your first name.
Or just the other Hudson.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that obsession is with squatting vehicles, truthfully.
Around here they do this dumb shit where they freaking lift the front like 4 inches and they lower the back like 3 inches. It's the dumbest thing ever. Actually,
the only thing I see around here is people overlifting the front. They're like, "Oh, I'm going to level it," but most people put 3 up front. I'm like, it's not 3.
It's 2.5.
2.5. I was like, if you go 2.5, you'll, by the time you drop the weight on it, you'll be down just a little bit, but you'll be perfect. Nick, you get a bigger tire and then you can go fuck yourself. Dude, Jerry's he's coming out full savage tonight.
I'm telling you, man, he's been ready for a live show. He's like, I got
he's been fucking antsy over there.
Bitch at.
You're like Hudson getting ready to arrest someone. Like you'd be fucking twitching, trigger fingers twitching. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so back to
I picture him just pacing every Friday night, just pacing his living room, just at 9 o'clock, just between 9 and 10, just like a caged animal.
Yeah. Okay, so back to what's new at work. You go first, because my list is long that we can make a whole show out of it.
What's new at work? Nothing.
Who's the guy that likes when I burp? I'm burping.
I don't know. Is he in here? Was that
I guess it ain't said nothing. That's one of those stupid Carolina squat bullcrap lifts when I was on my way home from work and I threw up in my mouth a little.
wouldn't
So
it be
upset.
wouldn't it be easier to just like get a bumper sticker that says like I'm mentally handicapped?
I was gonna say I'm gay, but yeah, we'll go with that.
I was trying to find a somewhat politically correct way.
No, fuck politically. We're not here because we're politically correct. When
You
I
were
say
talking about
politically correct, bitch.
when you were talking before about the stupidity being
It,
accepted and everything and heralded. I was thinking me and you need to do a live show that's just like a completely different channel, separate from what we do here, that's just common sense where we just
because
address
it's
dumb
just
shit.
the amount of it that people lack these days is insane.
It's like a superpower.
Yeah. But okay, so I'll dive in a little bit of what's new at
You
work for
were
me.
replacing a piece of equipment the other day. I sent you the pictures of the muddy cooling tower.
Oh, I was actually
They're like
I was
10 ply
changing
tires,
out.
so that's why they're heavy.
Yeah, I was changing out a condenser coil and a compressor in a 12.5 ton split train unit. Because the amount of time it took us to get the condenser coil in because it was leaking, the compressor lost enough oil that it died too.
You don't need it.
And the problem is the line that's like 220 feet long. So the amount of work to flush that out real well and everything to switch from 22 to something else, it was just easier to put a new compressor and condenser in.
What size unit?
12.5 ton.
It's probably a 3D scroll.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't put anything other than R22 in it then.
I can tell you right now, I love train units.
You're not supposed to.
You
Let me put it that way.
motherfuckers made the heaviest compressor I've ever picked up by myself in my life.
That's how you know it's good, because it weighs a lot.
I'm telling you right now, I think the compressor was probably 160 pounds. Easy.
It's been a while since I replaced one, but if I remember right, yeah, they're like 155 pounds, according to the shipping label.
Excruciatingly heavy to pick that up. And yeah, you don't need a compressor exactly. And put that.
You don't need oil. Hell, you don't need any of it.
Man, it was that. I picked that. I picked the old one up out of the unit and sat it on like a cart to push it over to the garage, and then I picked the new one up off a pallet, set it on the cart, and then sat it in the unit. And Jesus Christ, man! After that, I mean, my back's been hurting for like a week, solid, nonstop of pain because of that. But where I was and what I was doing, there's nothing else I can do. There's so much shit out there. There's not enough room to have another person help me. There's no way I could set up, a gangway and a come along to try to move stuff. There was just no way. That section of the hospital for if somebody out there, hey, thanks for coming, Zach. They don't know.
We don't have a fancy phrase for you.
Yeah, we'll get you one if we keep doing this. That section is full of. There's 2 cooling towers. There's 4 condensers, normal condensers. There's 2 condensers right there for MRI machines and X-ray machines and stuff. There's all this shit piled in one area. There's glycol chillers and stuff like that. So there's all this shit in one area. There's just no way. Only one of us can fit there at one time.
Did I send you the photos of the X-ray chiller that I was working on?
I don't think you did, actually.
I didn't?
Or if you did, I totally ignored it, which is quite possible too.
Boy, that thing was a real piece of crap.
Let's go to shared content between the two of us. Because I could very well have not fucking paid attention at all to what you said.
Well, be careful what you share on the channel if it's between the two of us.
Oh, I'm not sharing anything. I'm just looking. Is it the one that had a Milwaukee sitting on top of it?
Yeah, my shop vac sitting on top of it.
Yeah, okay, I did get that. That was actually when I was talking about the train unit. Yeah, so and the bitch with that is because of the massive amount of R22 that system takes. Not only just being a 12.5 ton, but being the line set is that long, and we have an accumulator sitting outside, basically
we've got some that we take care of that the line set is 30 feet, maybe 40
Yeah.
feet, something like that. And they hold over 100 pounds of refrigerant. And they're,
Right.
and you sent me the photo of that, and I can't remember the model number off the top of my head.
I don't.
But
I actually
it's
don't
that
know.
same. It's that same
Yeah.
unit. It's that
But
same style.
you know what I'm talking about. That system on its own in a normal situation holds a massive amount of refrigerant, let alone the length of that line set.
I want to say it's like an RCAG or something.
Yeah, I don't remember the model number of the unit offhand, truthfully. Yeah, because it's like sits in the basement of the hospital, and this is up on the first floor, like in a different quad, and it runs a very, very long way. But the sheer amount of R22 it would take, so we initially isolated the line set before the accumulator, and that turned out to be more than we could even, because we didn't we kind of need this thing going at this point, because now we have no compressor, so we have zero cooling for that. It's a CT scan room it does. So we initially isolated it before the
What are
accumulator.
the odds somebody at a hospital is going to need a CT scan done? Probably pretty low.
We isolated it before the accumulator, and that was turning out to be that we don't have enough recovery tanks to take that out even. So we were able to isolate the condenser and the compressor from the accumulator. And even at that, when we put that back in, got it vacuum. The vacuum's not going to be great because I'm sure those valves don't hold very tight.
You don't need it.
But it's one of those situations like if Chris from HVACR videos was there, you do the best you can with what you have to work with. Even at that, when I turned it on and got it running, I have so far put 25 pounds of refrigerant in, and it's still not completely charged. I was actually going to do it today, but some other things come up, and it was pretty cold and rainy outside, so it just wasn't. It's working enough that it keeps between, because the unit does a little air handler that dumps in there, but there's also a run that comes off of one of the big giant air handlers that dumps in there as well. It's just they had their original setup was the air handler did in there for whatever that was years ago, but they added the CT machine and it puts off so much heat they had to add that extra split system to compensate for it.
Just put a mini split in it.
And the price of R22 is astronomical now.
Little 9,000 BTU one in there.
I don't know what the price was. I don't know when it was, but it's one of a kind.
Dude. Yeah, it is. It's insane. Nothing on his ever matches anything that you read. Like nothing. The spark plugs, the wiring diagram's different. Everything's different. It's like, look here, there's a purple wire. There's not a purple wire. There's a wire on that pin and on that terminal, but it's not purple. It's doing the same thing that the purple wire is supposed to do.
I don't know what you guys are paying for R22 down there, or if you want to share, you don't have to. But up here, we're up to $650 a jug.
Last time I got some, I think that's what I paid. It's been a few months. I think it was like $625 or $635.
Let's see what the amount of systems we have that take it and the size of them. Because if you remember recently, I was telling you I worked on a 50-ton split train system. That system alone, I put 35 or 40 pounds in. And that was what would be like somebody comes. Yeah, that's what somebody comes out to your home and adds, a pound. That's equivalent to that system. That system holds, I don't know what it is, probably 300 pounds or something. Like insane.
I was working on one today that has
probably not accurate, but I'm just, trying to give people an idea.
Yeah, you get the picture. I was working on one today that had probably 400 feet of line set. That the factory charge was, I think, 5.5 pounds, if I remember right. not 100% sure if it's fully charged. I got to go back Monday. It's kind of like you said, it's working well enough for the weekend.
Right. Given the
But
temperature.
it holds 5.5 pounds. I'm up to 14.
Yeah.
People
don't realize what that line set really does to that system. That line sets and that train unit, the line set's I think 1 3/8 inches on suction. It's a big line set.
This was 7/8 or 1 1/8, and
maybe it 1 3. It's 1 3/8 inches, 1 5/8, something. It's big. Enough to be a pain in the ass to solder with a fucking B tank. Or any HVAC guys who knows what B tank is, it's fucking garbage.
You start getting up that big because those steel with the copper plating on them.
Exactly.
So if you burn the copper off of it, you're kind of screwed. But you got to do 56% silver on those, I think.
There's actually a train package unit down on it's not directly attached to the hospital, but it's separate, but the hospital owns it. There's a 25 package unit that has a bag compressor, and it's a steel copper situation. So I can't wait to change it. That recently, actually, I went down there.
Just don't overheat it.
They said that the unit wasn't really working. It was making noise. The blower wheel lost one of its weights and started vibrating, and it fucking blew itself to shit. I mean, just blew itself to pieces everywhere. Shot all over the fucking place. And changing that out, what a bitch. We were going to rebuild the whole assembly. Just get a new housing, new wheel, new shaft bearings. But the parts were 45 days away. When you have a daycare, you can't wait 45 days for parts. So somebody actually ended up, to get the shaft out of the wheel, he ended up putting it on a 40-ton press to push it out and then ground all the rust off of it so we could actually put it back together. So, yeah.
Well, I promised these people that we would be making fun of someone.
Yeah. I got one more thing.
Might have to do that here.
We're now close to, I think maybe I sent you a picture. Maybe I sent Evan a picture. I don't remember. Of our new cooling towers and our new chiller.
You sent me some when you guys were taking it down.
Yeah, okay. If you need some more to 22, we could talk about it. Give you a good price. Okay, you sound like a used car salesman. We got a new 650-ton train centrifugal chiller and a new, it's kind of all one.
It has been a while. That was just
3 sections. So
that was just I don't know, in its infancy, I guess, when we talked last.
Yeah, that was in its infancy. Now the towers are set. The piping is done for the most part. The chillers run 24/7, 365. So we can't just willy-nilly shut them down and go. So what they're working
you can't. You go over to it and push stop.
Well, you could do that, but it wouldn't end very well. We get back to the whole reason.
What are they going to do? Fire me? I don't even work there.
So what they're doing is the new chiller number 3. They're tying that into the new cooling tower naturally. And they're going to prime that system and everything and get it ready to go. And they're going to start it up and shut chiller 1 off. While chiller 1's off, they're going to valve it off, repipe it to the tower, and let 2 and 3 run. And then when that's done, they'll turn number 1 on, turn number 2 off, and repipe it. They're going to try to do it before the heat really hits. It's not going to happen. I can tell you that.
No, they waited too long.
Yeah, it's May, and they don't even restarted yet. So,
good job, idiot! You just dated us now. People are going to be watching this later. They're going to know we recorded this now.
God,
you suck. You suck.
Me or your dad?
You.
Oh, yeah, it's okay.
He's not the one that said May.
No. Fuck. Listen here, fuck it. All right, so time to roast.
Is it?
We're at 35 minutes into this, so Yeah, it's down the wrist.
Jay, what's the first rule of gun safety?
Don't point the muzzle on anything you don't want to destroy.
Well, guess what I found?
Somebody who pointed the muzzle at something they didn't want to destroy and destroyed it.
I wouldn't say he destroyed it. It was a clean through and through, but the through and through went through his foot. Let me bring this up here. Oh, I can't remember how to do
this
it.
right here, guys. This is a gun.
That's a rifle, actually.
It's a gun. Okay.
And
we're talking generalizations for Riri's who can't even fucking understand the concept of putting a turn signal on. Okay. This.
All right, wait a minute. I got to address this now. If you don't use your turn signal, go ahead and leave now.
Go ahead and shoot yourself in the foot, and I won't feel bad for you.
I don't feel bad for this guy.
Yeah. So this, it's a hand cannon. Its intention and its sole purpose in life is when the trigger is pulled, it shoots. That's what it does. It is an object. It doesn't run around town and kill shit when it's sitting here. How do I know?
I
because
prefer to think of it as a tool.
There's many sitting around me, and they don't go off and kill things. So this is intended to shoot. Somebody on the internet got upset when it shot. Oh, you mean it's intended to do that, but you got mad when it did it because you're a fucking moron. So that's my leading statement.
Okay.
Back to you, buddy.
Well, I think you said it all right there. Let's just go to the screen share here, and I'll show you.
Yeah, once he says it, it gets the screen share up, then we'll discuss. I mean, there will be, some non-bashing discussion here. I will tell you that.
This is going to do us here.
So we got the text photo.
Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah. Well, let me scroll it up here.
Right
so
there.
if you see here, it says some may call this a graphic image. I got rid of the photo that was attached to it just because I've never intended to have a photo of something where somebody had shot themselves on this channel. So I never read the part on YouTube that discusses whether or not you can put that up. So I just went ahead and got rid of it.
Better to try to avoid the controversy when we actually want this to go through than deal with it on the spot.
YouTube's a bunch of douchebags when it comes to firearm shit to begin with.
Which we'll get to them and Facebook later, so stay tuned.
So,
spoiler alert. But, so
damn it, that's my closer. Come on.
So
that's how I close out my set.
Here's how I'll open with the discussion based upon what you guys are seeing here. Anything mechanical is open to failure
at any point in time.
But many times, 9 times out of 10, the mechanical failure is related to poor ownership of the mechanical device.
Or doing something with it that it's not intended to do, which I'll get to that here in a second.
When your fucking vehicle has problems, you just had it buried in water up to the fucking windows. You can't blame the manufacturer.
Well, and all right, I'll give you a quick story on this that really applies. And me and Angela were talking about this earlier today. He's a guy that I work with. My neighbor across the street.
Where are you?
I think he's in here somewhere. I thought I saw him comment before. Short little Grecian fuck. The guy across the street from me, pretty decent guy. When I first moved in and got my truck, he came over. He's talking to me one day, and he goes, "Oh, one with a Dodge, huh?" I said, "Yeah. I did a lot of research. This is the one that I liked." He goes, I haven't been real impressed by him." Oh, okay. Well, you got one sitting in your driveway. What's not, I mean, you drive one. Why don't you like it? And he goes, "Well, got this camper tote behind the truck. Man, I gotta store that thing down there at the beach. Every time I take that damn thing out, I gotta put a transmission in that truck. Okay. How big's a camper? 36 feet.
Really?
It's a pretty big
Yeah,
camper.
I'm guessing he was driving a half ton with 321s in it.
I said, how much that thing weigh? He goes, it's about 13,000 pounds empty. I think my wife brings about 2,000 pounds of shit every time we go down there. She's got to bring all of her books and her movies, blankets, clothes, all this crap we don't need. So, yeah. Interesting. So, that's what, like 2008? Yeah, 2009. How'd you know? Yeah, I've looked at a lot of them. You know that thing's got a tow rating of about 7,000 pounds, right? Yeah. So what you're telling me is you put 15,000 pounds behind it, and then you're pissed off when it can't do the job the way that you want it to do it. For those of you that don't know, to go to the beach is 3.5 hours one way, just trucking down the highway.
Yeah, it's pretty far from where you guys are.
Yeah.
I know because we used to go on vacation, and sadly, the only way to kind of get to the Outer Banks was from Charlotte to the Outer Banks. So we had to come down to Charlotte and then go over.
From where you guys are, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I get what you're saying there. Yeah. So that's just a big case of a fucking asshole using something other than designed and complaining when it doesn't perform the way they want it to.
So, yeah, you may not know a lot about mechanical stuff or, tow ratings or anything like that, but most people can figure out that 15,000 is over twice 7,000. I mean,
Yes.
Again, if you can't figure
If
that
any
out,
of
if
you
you
can
had to
do
do that
math,
on
you
a
know that.
calculator, just go
Yeah,
ahead and
pull out your
exit stage
calculator.
left now.
Yeah,
I can tell you what it is. I mean, if you want it done on a calculator, it's 2.1 times.
Yeah. It's so in this situation of this person, I honestly don't even know. No, yeah, it does say he shot himself. Okay.
Yeah, right.
So
down towards the last sentence, sir.
the main reason I'm faulting this person is one, I don't know this fucking idiot. And automatically, if you're complaining about something like shooting yourself on Facebook, 9 out of 10 times you fucking shot yourself being stupid. Nonetheless.
Well, first of all, if you shoot yourself, you're the 1% of gun owners that the rest of us fucking hate. Because you just became a statistic.
So let's start with some facts.
Should we just read it and break it down sentence by sentence?
No, I mean I'm gonna throw a few facts in this real quick.
Okay.
So an AR-15 has a bolt carrier group with a firing pin in it. That firing pin is free floating. It doesn't lock into place at all. So if your bolt is locked back, and if you people would like, I would not, don't, you know what, I'm not even going to apologize for saying you people, fuck you. But if you would like, I would demonstrate what being locked back is and and dropping the bolt closed is without rounds in it, of course. But
I think it would help a lot of people.
Here, we'll do it right now.
Take the magazine out, please. Here, hang on. Before you do that, let me make us large again. We'll remove this for a second. I'll make us bigger.
There we go. Okay. That round rolled onto the floor when I did mine. Gun is clear. I have a bad lever so I can lock this open from down here. Bolt is open. What is slamming it shut? That. When you got something free floating, you see how fast that moves. I mean, seriously, it's ridiculous how quickly that goes. That firing pin is free floating. When you got something,
I wish I had one of mine in here because I would pull the bolt carrier out.
Yeah, I'll pull it out for you. This one's pretty easy for me to push the pins by hand.
They're all pretty easy.
I just dropped the charging handle, so excuse me on that. But
it's made for It's made for people that can't get higher than like a 17 on an ASVAB to be able to take apart.
There you go. There's that little hole where your firing pin is. This is free floating. Hear that? Firing
That son of a bitch is moving in there.
So, I think it's this guy actually, this D-Hard01 that likes me to burp. sorry about that. It's random. But,
I saw him comment and I had the same thought, but we were going on about this, so I didn't.
The guy. So if you're that guy, let me know. Okay, sorry. Not Facebook. Amazon's going off because I ordered stuff. So this is free floating. If you're taking this magazine, which is loaded, in fact, I have a prime example for you. Somebody just yelled titties downstairs in my house, but let's ignore that. So you want to take this magazine, put it in there.
I know for a fact we cannot show nudity on YouTube.
Yeah, we cannot do that. So you want to load the gun by having that bolt locked back, as we demonstrated, and just stick the magazine in and drop it on. That firing pin is free floating. Here's a round that had the bolt dropped on it. See that indentation? That's the firing pin hitting the primer.
Actually, I got one here. This is a different caliber, but this is one that's been fired. Let's see if we can.
Yeah. So see, here's a little comparison. Now, obviously, the one Nick has is indented a little further, but his is actually gone off. That was actually
get it to where you can see it for the most part.
But so what you're seeing is that firing pin was struck. The bullet did the gun didn't fire. Oh God, it slipped out of my hand. It's a little greasy. It didn't fire. See?
No comment.
Yeah. Lube is always good. So that free-floating firing pin always strikes that primer when that bolt is dropped. It happens. It's
9 times out of 10 it does anyway.
Yeah, it's natural. That's what happens when you have a free-floating firing pin. It's not like on a handgun where it's actually physically locked into place.
It's held back by the sear on a handgun, typically, unless it's hammer fired, which that's a different thing. We're not going to get into.
Yeah, we're not going to go too far into this because there's too many people who are too stupid to know this. So, in any situation, any given time, the firing pin is hitting this round on the primer. So, to fault the gun, how often do
let's go back for a second here.
Let's go physically fault the gun. How can you fault the gun for doing what it naturally does?
Well, here's the thing. All right, so
maybe he's not blaming it on a firing pin, just hitting it and it going off.
Well, no, he's blaming the safety.
Right, he's blaming the safety for working.
See, because here,
I really didn't read it because he's a fucking dickhead. And I'd like to just shoot him and fucking get it over with.
End it.
Yeah.
Well, see, all right. So we go to the second sentence here. All right. So let's break this down. First sentence. So when you think a safety switch and a trigger finger are your number one safety rule, along with don't put anything, which he doesn't use proper grammar there, in front of, which I don't think in front of is one word. I think that's 2 words.
But here's a good thing for you guys. You want to know what safety does? This gun is unloaded. Safety off. Click. Okay, continue.
That's all right. We're going to explain all this in just a second for those of us in the classroom that are not as familiar with AR-15s.
And then we're not blaming you people who aren't familiar with firearms. That's okay. All of us were
no, this is a learning experience. I mean, yeah, exactly. We were all new to something at one point, whether it's firearms or doing YouTube stuff.
Anything, you know what I mean?
Anything.
Those of you who are, have a
at one point, 2 plus 2 equals 4 had to be explained to us.
Right. The first letter of the alphabet is A. The second one is B. We all had to learn that at some point or another. So
it depends on what language it is. Some of them start with backwards R.
Yeah, well, Continue.
Okay. Anyway. You don't put anything in front of the barrel that you don't want to destroy. Okay, that is
You
correct.
start with logic.
Right,
Got
he
it.
starts out good. He starts out pretty well here. Keep your finger off the trigger, use the safety if it's equipped, and don't put anything in front of the barrel in which you don't wish to destroy. Okay,
Go ahead
good.
and read the next sentence, and then I wanna
Yep.
go to I want to talk about this.
Oh, you talk after I talk because I got
Yeah,
a big
you get me. Me and Nick get each other,
yeah.
as most of us know.
Okay, second sentence. Well, there should be a comma here.
That's
Well,
not going
some
to
have to learn. Well, just trying to prove how dumb.
Yeah, right.
Some of you have to learn that a safety is just a mechanism and at any point can fail. Okay, the safety did not fail. Because right here, when we get to the third sentence, he says, there's a slam fire. All right, the safety, the only thing,
Jesus.
and I'm going to say it twice, the only thing that the safety does on an AR-15 is prevents the hammer from coming up and striking the firing pin. Like Jay just explained, it's a free-floating firing pin. It is always moving inside of there.
Yep.
Okay.
And here's what I want to
Slam
say. A big
are
thing.
rare
Safety,
on AR-15s,
safety
and they're
is not
rare
a
if you use
mechanism.
better ammo.
Safety is not a mechanism. It's a mentality.
Exactly. Well, it's
that you have is meant to shoot and destroy.
Well, it's the old Mike Rowe thing. If any of you have ever, listened to Mike Rowe or followed some of what he does, and I mean, I'm not going to get. I know he gets into political stuff, and we're not talking about that here. Just talking about what he does in the trades and for the trades. He talks a lot about this safety first mentality, where it's everything is safety first. Put your safety glasses on, they keep you safe. Put your safety shoes on, they keep you safe. Put your safety vest on, it keeps you safe. And there's this mentality, and you probably see it in the places that you've been in and probably where you work now. And I see it in the places that I go into. They act like if you put a reflective vest on and then you walk across a truck yard, that truck can no longer run you over. The truck will automatically identify that bright orange vest that you're wearing and stop, preventing you from ever being hurt. And it's like, no, if I walk out in front of one of those trucks on the truck yard and I don't give him proper time to stop, he's going to run me the fuck over and I'm going to be a grease spot.
Exactly. But
and that's what happened here. The safety's on,
also
the bolt is open, I'm safe as can be.
People blatantly ignore the rules of that safety and then wonder why the bad things happen. When it comes to a gun, what's number one safety?
Do not put anything in front of that barrel in which you do not want to destroy.
What's number two?
Treat
all firearms as if they were loaded. What's the number one thing? You don't walk around with your finger on the fucking trigger.
Keep your mentality hook off the bang switch.
Mentality. Not mechanism. I just don't know what just got stuck to me there. Sorry. It's like, hey, let me put my finger in front of that barrel. Yeah, no, let's not. Because if for some reason something happened and this gun went off, my finger is gone. So I know I have people downstairs, so I could either point the gun this way, where I know there's nobody, or this way. Plain and simple. Safety is not a mechanism. It's a fucking mentality. There is a mechanism that is a safety. And it's right here on an AR-15.
And most people, most manufacturers don't even put safeties on a lot of their handguns anymore.
Yeah. Do you see this revolver having a safety?
No, the safety is the long trigger pull.
The safety on here is the 10-pound trigger pull to keep this from going off. But if you're one of those assholes that wants to cock this hammer.
Oh, yeah, because,
But
first,
then
gotta be
that
first
aspect of safety goes to mentality, not to mechanism.
Well, and I can tell you what happened here. I know what happened. And it's never anywhere in here, right? He never says it, and he doesn't say it on his original post or anything like that. But I can tell you what happened. He put the gun or the rifle into this. He put it into a safe loaded, which if you've ever bought a gun safe, there's stickers all over the damn thing that says
Don't store
put
this. We do not
firearms in here
recommend this
loaded.
gun storing loaded, being stored loaded. That's on every fucking safe. That's probably in every fucking manual that comes with a gun.
Hang on. Wait 1 second. I got
Yeah,
something
he probably has one. I'm going to talk while you're gone. There's nothing that says you can't store the gun loaded, but when you kind of demonstrate here, knowing that an AR-15 has a free floating firing pin, and you store the gun like this, you've got your magazine in there, but your bolt is locked open. Knowing that that firing pin is going to fly forward if this bolt drops. Right then and there, you're setting yourself up for failure. Truthfully. If you want to store the gun with a magazine in it, two ways. Here, unchambered, or chambered with your safety on. And this gun, again, we're going to demonstrate for you assholes out there. Safe. No rounds. Safety is on. Now, again,
even this kind of safe here,
gun.
this little,
it's
one that goes in a car.
There you go.
You don't store it loaded. I think at one time it came with a sticker that I was supposed to apply to it that I never did. But
either way, no safe manufacturer is recommending you store your guns loaded.
Well, and there's this mentality too. And again, this goes back to the 1%. This goes back to the 1% of owners of firearms that make the rest of us look like fucking assholes.
Yep.
And
sad that those are the ones that make the news.
Right. He probably made his local fucking, dirt rag shit paper or something. But, there's this mentality of, well, I'm not going to store the firearm and they're loaded. That's just stupid. What if I need it? Well, here's the thing. You kind of, when you get, and I don't know about you personally, I've got a safe, but when you get it and you see that sticker on there that goes, don't store anything in here loaded, you go, well, that's kind of strange. Why the hell they put that on there? And then you start loading the thing up with rifles and you realize that you're taking the rifle and you're going like this to get it in there and turning it every which direction. You go, there's a reason that sticker's on there.
Especially if you got like a 12 gun safe and you got 12 guns in there, they're bumping into each other. You're hitting it off of shit, trying to get it out of there.
Exactly. I mean, mine personally, you've got to put them in the right way. I mean, it's like parallel parking cars. They've all got to go in there in a certain way. And yeah, one wrong bump and you're sending a round through a piece of concrete, basically, because that's what the inside of that thing is made out of.
Right.
You're sending it through concrete and steel, which is probably going to ricochet off to God knows where.
So there's a reason that, if some of you do, you have your guns out for your self-defense purposes, but there's a reason that the guns in the safe should be unloaded.
And there's proper ways that you can store a loaded firearm that's like your,
kind of secures you a little further.
Right. That's your bedside weapon,
But again, safety mentality. Well, when it comes to firearms, there's no such thing as being too safe.
Remove.
My opinion.
No.
Now, again, like Nick said, there's that situation with the truck where you have your vest on and the motherfucker still runs you over. There's no reason. There's no way that doesn't happen. You can't say that the firearm truly, can never malfunction. That happens. It happens regularly. There have been lawsuits recently against manufacturers for that reason. Some of the reasons I don't agree with, but I'm not going to get into. That just goes into a whole nother discussion.
And say a safety. Say you have a pistol with a safety on it, right? Okay. Because I've got one that's kind of the everyday carry, and it's got a safety on it. And I specifically,
it's a
it's
little
not
tough.
that one.
It has a safety.
I think you have one. Don't you have an M&P?
No, I do not.
No? Okay, I thought you had one. Might be somebody else. Anyway, not important. But I specifically made sure that it had a safety on it. And the reason that I did all that and went to that far was because it was going to be the everyday carry. And just, like you said, safeties can fail and things like that. And safety practices can fail you as well. I mean,
and
I could get bumped into at the store.
At the moment, if you think somebody is breaking into your house, your adrenaline is going to be racing. Your mind's not going to be as sharp as it is right now when you're just sitting here relaxed and calm and, watching your TV or whatever. Those are things you have to think about when preparing for a situation that is life endangering. You have to think about that. Where's your mind going to be? You really can't even prepare for it that much until you're in it at some point or another. There's no way you can say, I know what's going to happen.
The whole use of deadly force thing, if it ever comes down to that has to be pure muscle memory. But I mean, I'm just talking even more pedestrian things, say, I don't know. You're climbing into your truck and, your holster gets snagged on something and the pistol falls out. I like that extra little tiny bit of security, knowing that the sear is being held back by a secondary mechanism.
Right.
But I don't.
I'm a big fan of 1911s for the multiple safety thing.
With the palm safety and the hammer safety, the hammer lock.
I think it's in. I don't have the gun over here. I think it's in my bedroom because that's kind of like my home defense gun.
No, I get it. I sleep with mine too. They're incredibly sexy.
Yeah, I just get an erection looking at it. Truthfully,
I mean, who hasn't made love to a 1911?
Yeah, right.
I mean, if you haven't, you're not an American. Girth.
I don't know why, but the dog is nestled up in the corner behind the chair right now, completely smashed.
She's exercising her 2A freedoms.
I guess she's really fat, so in the spot that she's in is very snug.
But yeah, I mean, I don't want to get preachy about this whole safety thing and stuff like that. But I mean, I do take umbrage with this guy because I guarantee that's what it was. He's putting it in the safe, and I mean, we can make fun of other people. There's the guy that shot himself with a 45 ACP and a steel toe boots to see if it would stop it, and guess what? It doesn't.
There's the guy that was shooting a target that was right in front of him, drew the gun and shot himself in the fucking leg. There's some things that happen that There's some things that happen that aren't human error. There's no way of denying that. As we said before, a mechanical device.
The cat with the 50 cal. Well, the cat with the 50 cal. That was a video that was going around for a while where he's shooting at a target that's I forget what it is, a mile away or something, and it ricochets off of a rock that he probably can't even see. And it comes back and it takes his hearing protection right off the side of his head. You could argue that he didn't know what was beyond his target properly, but I mean...
I'm sorry, when something's a mile away, you don't know what the fuck's down there. You're never going to know.
Well, and he's probably thinking, too, if it does hit something out that far, it's not going to have enough energy to make it a mile back.
Right. You're thinking that far away at the velocity of that bullet's going, hopefully it just fragments and becomes nothing.
Right. Or if it does hit a rock, it's probably going to just destroy the rock.
Right. Something. You know what I mean? I mean, there's situations you certainly can't control, but in this world, 99% of firearm accidents are due to user error. Maybe that's not, the statistic you'll find on Google or whatever. Well, fuck Google. I'm telling you now.
They're just giving you a raw fact. This guy shot himself.
This guy shot himself.
There's no context to it at all. And that's
There's
the
a
same
million
thing.
things that could happen. One, you got this bullet. Maybe he's got this round on the top of the magazine that the bolt's been dropped on a bunch of times. Well, what happens if the firing pin keeps hitting that same spot on that primer?
He could reload his own ammo for all I know.
He could reload his own ammo. That primer is not seated properly. That's a
It
bad
could be cheap
primer.
Chinese ammo.
Right. It could
I
be
had
something
some
that doesn't
for-
have enough resilience to when it gets tapped, it doesn't shoot. It could be one of those situations where, like, it's a single action revolver. You don't load that sixth shot because if you tap the hammer, the gun goes off. I mean, so those not all primers are equal. And especially now with the ammo shortage and the componentry shortage for making ammunition, this guy could have bought fucking primers off some fucking asshole who's sitting over in the middle of the fucking nowhere just making shit randomly. And, this one wasn't
it's
up
in
to
that
par.
primer, don't you?
So it's
What
there's
makes up
definitely
the
not
primer,
enough.
right?
There's not enough context, but that's the thing is they're blaming the firearm when there's absolutely zero context as to the situation.
No, and I mean, lack of self-responsibility. I mean, you got to sit back at some point and you go, you know what? I really fucked up putting that thing in there loaded like that. That was really fucking dumb. I'm lucky I got shot in the foot. And actually, the photo, which I didn't include, which I explained before, but the photo, it goes. So if you kind of think about, got to find my camera here. If you kind of think about his foot like this, it goes through the side where like it missed all the bones and everything. Well, it looked like it missed all the bones, but I mean, 3,300.
Like it, but you never know.
3,300 feet per second. I mean, ripping through you is pretty quick. I mean, quite honestly, there's probably people out there that are thinking, "Holy crap, he took that point
looking
blank."
At the picture now, and like
he got away lucky.
That's such an odd angle, though, for it to have hit. How the fuck did that even happen? It literally another fucking eighth of an inch, and that would have been a graze.
Yeah,
that's such an awkward situation. So nobody,
that's why
this guy, for all we know, with that angle, could have been sitting there, fucking working on it, and not fucking unloaded the gun.
Well, and the other thing too, that's why I think he was getting it out of safe, because if you look, the way that it comes through, it's like he's holding it sort of like this.
It's like if this was his foot, okay? The bullet literally never even hit the bones. It just went in the skin right here and out the skin right here. That's it. So to say that the firearm failed, it's just, I don't think.
No, the firearm performed flowlessly.
The firearm did it what it was supposed to. When the hammer dropped,
and it hit its target.
When that hammer went from being cocked back to forward, it shot. That's what it's designed to do. It doesn't have a brain to say, "Hey, this is aimed at somebody."
Oh, this is my owner. It's not it's not a dog.
I can't shoot this because this is a good guy. It's a mechanical device. It doesn't have a brain, and apparently neither does its fucking owner.
No, I mean, well, I'm not going to say on here what I said to you.
Why, you don't want to be politically incorrect?
No, because if something does happen, I don't want to be a suspect in a murder case.
Yeah,
because
I remember what you said. We're not going to go there.
What I said was not kind.
And let me tell you, neither was what I said. So
no, it's both of our comments need to be just kept to ourselves.
Those are PG-13 right now. We're not mentioning.
If we do that, we're going to be definitely
X-rated.
This is PG-13. What we're doing right now compared to what we said.
Yeah, the EPO will be appalled if we say what we actually said.
If we say what we actually said to each other in the privacy of a text message, that'll be kids. Put your headphones in. Mommy and Daddy about to use TV mature language.
Yes, the titties. I just watched that movie last night, believe it or not. So that's
I knew you would get it too. I put a lightning bug up my butt. Why?
I'm talking about a firefly out my butthole. Why? Make my farts glow.
I love when he's going through with his kids. Everything that they did just get worse. It starts out with something so pedestrian. I forget what the first kid even says.
Mild.
I forget what he even says. He's I used the Lord's name in vain. He's like,
Right.
okay,
I said the Lord's name in vain.
I'm not
going to
get mad. I said I wasn't going to get mad.
I said I wouldn't get mad, and I'm not. Then it goes down to like I put a firefly at my butthole. I had a beer with the old biker man down the street, and I touched this old lady's titty. And I had the stairwell at the mall, and I take pictures of women's skirts, and I have a whole book full of cooter shots. Yeah, it
the
fucking
wife
goes downhill.
touches herself to Drew Carey
Drew
on
Carey on The Price is Right.
Oh, that scene.
For those
and
of
when
you
he's
who don't know what we're talking about, there's a movie called The Campaign with Zach Galifianakis and Will Ferrell. It's fucking amazing. Go watch it.
It's the two best movies they've ever done, and they're totally underrated.
For your comment, Jerry, you were 100% right. I didn't ignore you. I promise. I just saw it.
Do we want to go down that road?
Oh, Facebook is on the agenda tonight, so we can go down that road.
I mean, we're if we're gonna do it, let's do it.
You start because I gotta piss.
Are you gonna leave me like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how we roll.
Oh, okay. I see how it is. Yeah, he's right. Facebook is on the agenda. We did talk about ripping Facebook a new asshole because I don't know. A lot of their policies I'm not agreeing with here lately. I kind of feel like you have to either be a forum or you have to be an editor, and they want to be both. They kind of do this. Why is it? Stop that. Sorry, I lost my thought there. They do this thing where they say, you've probably seen commercials on TV. I know that I've seen them, and I don't even have cable, where they talk about, they promote freedom of speech and the use of the internet for everybody. And they go to these third world countries that are run by dictators and shit like this, where they talk about
dictators.
Those two. I don't know. I haven't talked to the people, but they go, they run these commercials saying that, we're working with, I don't know, Bolivia or some shit to make their elections free and allow people to talk online about whatever they want. But then they tell you that you can't say what you want to say. And the thing that really pissed me off and set me off to the point that I said, fuck Facebook and fuck Zuckerberg and fuck all of them, is for no reason at all on their Facebook private messenger, they decided that I can't share any photos anymore because apparently, and the only answer that I can get out of anybody is you must have shared something that was not acceptable. The only thing that I know is unacceptable on their platform
is the fact that my private messages aren't private.
Well, no, okay. Have you ever read the end user agreement for Facebook Messenger?
Yeah, it's a fucking joke.
I mean, seriously, have you ever read it? I've read it. Do you know what it says in there?
Sections of it.
They have the right to turn your camera on your phone or your computer, your tablet, whatever you're using, your microphone on whatever you're using. They have unlimited access to this shit on your stuff.
Right.
Access to shit that they really don't need. It's not, we can turn your camera on when you're using the app and we need permission for that so that you can send a photo. We can turn it on whenever the fuck we feel like it.
Yeah, because especially now when you're actually going to use this stuff, your device says, hey, do you give this permission to use your camera? Do you give this permission to make and manage phone calls and stuff? And you're basically
my phone will allow me to say on certain things that it can only have access to that if I have the app open and running.
Right.
I don't know about yours.
Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on the situation.
And then there's times too where if I say only while I'm using the app won't perform properly.
Right.
And you have to go back and say all the time. And then I typically go back and take your fucking app off my shit because you don't need access to my phone all the time.
Right. You don't need to make and manage phone calls when I'm just trying to download fucking ringtones. Fuck you.
Exactly. But
And to the man himself, Mr. Mark Zuckerberg, fuck you. You're a faggot and you take it up the ass.
Oh. Well, I'm glad that I never got monetized through YouTube because that's probably out the window now.
That would fucking be way out the window. When you put me on a live stream, I'm gonna quote the campaign on it. You became a consenting adult.
That's true. When they plugged that answering machine in, they became consenting adults.
You know what I was referencing.
Oh, that's another
just
great
got
scene in
sick
that
of the
movie.
fact
He's
that,
like, it's the phone call. It's the phone call, Cam. That's what messed you up. And he's like, I don't see it. He's like, look, here's you,
like
little dude yodeling. He's like, here's a phone call.
Fuck off.
Fuck you too.
Exactly. Nick said, fuck you too. Okay. Get out of here, Felicia. Bye, Felicia.
But yeah, I mean, I actually contacted them on their, customer service or customer support
I
or
used
whatever.
to be able to actually contact these people and throw in my 2 cents and everything else. I was actually barred from being able to give feedback and contact them directly because of the things I said to them.
And that's the
One
thing.
thing
They're a
that
private company and they can run their company the way that they want. But I think it's kind of fucked up when you say, well, you shared something in Messenger that is unacceptable and not allowed to be shared in Messenger, but you refuse to tell me what the fuck I shared that broke all the rules.
Problem when I had the problem in which they said that I was no longer able to contact them and everything else, I was banned because of a meme I shared when a woman was covering her breast with her hands. I forget what it said. It's been a long time. And they barred me from using Facebook because that was nudity.
I got one.
I screenshotted a suggested friend of a man who his profile picture, he was completely and utterly fucking naked. He had nothing on. You could see everything. I said, how the fuck is this nudity when this guy is completely fucking naked in his profile picture, but you are singling me out? I said, it's total fucking bullshit. And I said, your fucking CEO is a fucking faggot. And that got me shut down. But the problem was in recent days is I couldn't say, fuck you, take your opinion elsewhere. But this person could say, I'm going to cut the fucking president's head off. And that's okay. This is not going into politics. This is not based upon political views. This is literally shit I see on Facebook. They can talk about shooting a cop in the fucking head, but I could say, listen, shut the fuck up, and that's wrong. I'm sorry. I can no longer support that. For many years, I just kept my mouth shut.
Well, for a while, it was funny. And you could make fun of it,
right? I can make fun of stuff. I could have memes.
But it's very much a double standard.
Yeah, and it just went recently. It went way too far, and I don't care what anybody's political views are. I don't give a fuck what your views on police are. If you want to know our views on police, look at Nick's hat.
Pretty much.
I didn't do it based upon it. I just couldn't support that anymore.
Me and you have a mutual friend who is a police officer, and we are the only two that are allowed to fuck with him about being a cop. He
shall remain nameless.
He will definitely remain nameless.
I'm just laughing because I know what I say to him when we play Xbox.
Oh, yeah. We fucking give him a hard time. Oh, you know what? That'd be perfectly... You know what? If we made fun of him... If we made fun of him on Facebook, we'd still be on Facebook. Here, I'm going to do the screen share thing because I actually ventured into the cesspool that is fucking Facebook to grab that text that we were talking about before with the guy that shot himself in the foot. And I'll show you. When I went on there, the very first thing that pops up is you have been banned or what the fuck ever because you shared something and they called this nudity.
Yeah, this. When
This.
the person depicted, which looks to be Jim Carrey, actually.
It is
But
Jim
it's
Carrey because
completely
if you see up here in the
clothed.
search bar, I put winter Jim Carrey meme.
Is completely clothed. Yeah, I can't see your search bar. It's too small because I
That's
don't
right.
have the screen because I'm trying to watch the comments.
No problem.
Is not only completely clothed, but the way the picture is doesn't even look like his hands fully in his pants, and that's nudity. But some guy who has and again, I'm not hating gay people. So if you think that, go fuck yourself. Who has a big fucking rainbow picture on his Facebook, and his fucking cock is out on his fucking profile picture, and that's not a problem, then again, we're back to that situation. Fuck you. Because I am just a normal, everyday, average person who just wanted to share memes. Every now and again, I get a little riled up, share my opinion. But these people can literally not only post whatever the fuck they want, but also say whatever the fuck they want because their opinion is quote unquote popular.
Exactly. It's
and that's all it
what's
is.
the popular opinion? Oh, it's popular to say that it's okay to fucking act like an asshole.
And it goes back to my opinion on the news media. I'm going to share that because I don't give a fuck if anybody on here likes it or not.
This is why we need the Common Sense show. We need the Common Sense
right,
channel where
this shit would fucking be perfect. This is like prime fucking content for that. But my opinion,
we might have to do that. We might have to talk after this.
We're gonna have to discuss this a little bit. Maybe when we're more sober because we're both fucking slamming beers right now. Although that's when we put out our best content. So, but anyway,
I don't think that you necessarily don't have common sense when you're putting beers away. You just maybe don't have good judgment.
I don't know. I think
those are two different things.
In my opinion, for me, is my filter kind of wears off. And I don't have a filter like on a normal basis. So when my filter wears off, things happen. People get pissed off.
There's people that I've told some shit to stone cold sober that are, yeah.
Let alone
I'm going to call it like I see it.
If I'm drunk and you ask me what my opinion of you is, you're not going to like it. It doesn't even matter if we're best friends. I could be drunk and Nick could say, "Hey, what's your opinion of me?" And he's probably going to not like some things I say. That's how it goes.
It's okay. I do the same thing for you, buddy.
Right. But fuck. I lost my train of thought.
No. I mean, I get what you're saying though. We both kind of call things the way that we see it. We don't sugarcoat it to make you feel better. And I think that's a lot of the problem with what social media is. Is they want to sugarcoat
the social
things.
media. The social media and the news media are kind of like tied together because most of your news that you get now, most of your news
is like coming off.
A lot of people
Facebook.
see from the Facebook anyway.
Right.
But what people don't understand nowadays is the things that come across your TV. Those things are on there to get views. Views. They only want you to watch it. They don't give a fuck what they say, if it's right or wrong or anything. It's
half the time I don't know if they even
numbers.
Believe some of the shit they say.
People don't get that. It's actually been about numbers for a long time.
Oh yeah.
But back in the day, they at least used the most exciting news situations.
Well, how old is the old saying? If it bleeds, it leads.
Right.
Everybody has heard that. And it's a true
back
saying.
In the day, they used what the most exciting material at the time was to put in the news. Now they don't even give a fuck whether it's true or not. Back in the day, they might
because they got to be the first one.
This car chase is more exciting than a fucking squirrel water skiing. Well, sure it is because wow, this guy's flying through the fucking city at 90 miles an hour. Well, now they could say the fucking Earth is flat, and fucking Jesus is walking across fucking Main Street in New York right now, And people would fucking believe it because it's on the fucking TV. Well, all they're trying to do is get you to watch their fucking show. The news is no different than a goddamn reality show. They're all about views and how many people they can get to watch their program.
Well,
That's the only way they survive.
And there's a second part
views.
that you're missing. There's a second part that you're missing to that too, is now you've got these assholes out there, and I'll use this guy for an example. Alex Jones, pretty much everybody knows who Alex Jones is. He says outrageous shit on YouTube, and it's for nothing more than to get views. And, not hating on gay people or not hating on what your views of gay people are or anything like that. But this dude came out with the most serious, and I'm not joking here. This sounds like I'm going to make this up right now, but it's serious. He truly believes, I think, that Democrats are trying to turn frogs gay so that the frogs can pollute the water system with gay genes, I guess. I don't know. I couldn't get through 30 seconds of it. But he's trying to pollute, they're trying to pollute the water system with gay frogs so that it turns people gay. And it's like, dude, do you realize how insane what you just said is?
But either way, I'm safe.
You can't possibly believe that. But the problem is there's people like this that put articles out, and they call it fact and they call it news.
And people just
so what do you
believe
trust
it. They
anymore?
Oh man, I this guy said this. It must be true. Really?
Well, 5,000 people shared it. It's got to be true. That's considered research now. Well, how many shares does it have? Oh, 50,000. It's got to be.
My biggest thing is when you wanted to know about something,
it's got 100,000 retweets. It has to be true.
You investigate it for yourself. And then when I say investigate for yourself, you don't go on fucking Instagram, Twitter, fucking Facebook. You look into that for yourself to see what the actual facts are. I mean, and then nowadays it's kind of tough because most of the time when you're looking up trying to find facts or something, it's all on the internet anyway. Well, how much can you believe that?
Yeah, and when the internet first came out,
especially when you go on Wikipedia and Google and shit, normal everyday people can input
edit
shit
that.
On it. They say things about that. So, and I know this personally. I've read articles on, say, most commonly bants. I've read the same article multiple times over the past 4 or 5 years. Every fucking time I read it, it's different because people are inputting shit. So how do you actually say, well, this is a fact? Well, where are you getting your information from? If you're getting it from the internet,
you want to hear something about Wikipedia? I can tell you something about Wikipedia. I listen to a lot of podcasts. A lot of them are crime-based podcasts, right? One of them is called Crime and Sports.
I'll tell you about on YouTube that you might like.
Yeah.
It's about
you have to text it to me because I won't remember it if you tell me.
Yeah, it's about the crazy murder crimes and stuff. It's pretty cool. I like it.
Hell yeah.
Anyhow.
So one of them is Crime and Sports, where they feature criminal athletes. Okay.
You're right, Jerry.
And one of the things they talk about NBA, it's all different sports, but whenever they talk about NBA players, what they do when they do their research is if they hear about, say a particular athlete, they'll type their name into like Wikipedia and just see what pulls up and gives them an idea. It's kind of like Wikipedia is basically like reading the back of a book, to get an idea of what the book is about.
It's like a back of a book if there's 30,000 different versions of it.
Well, but I mean, that's how they look at it, though, is they're just getting like the general, okay, he played in the NBA between 2001
you get some
and
basic
2008.
facts out of something.
Right. And if you ever look up anybody in the NBA that's committed crimes, people that have committed crimes, say like Charles Barkley, he's committed crimes. One of the big ones was the famous, he's going to get the best blowjob in town. Right. He got pulled over by the police drunk driving. If you look up on the Wikipedia page, the NBA scrubs every single one of their players' pages completely clean. You will never see a single crime pop up. Look up O.J. Simpson on Wikipedia. I guarantee you the first thing that pops up is Nicole Brown.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, even Wikipedia, the online encyclopedia is being edited by people.
Yeah.
I mean, just
Every day.
if anybody's interested in what I do when I need, okay, I'll give you an example. A while back, there was an officer involved shooting, and I'm not going to get into any of the details of it because it's not fucking important. Okay.
Right.
But I sat there and I heard about this, and there was a lot of debate. This was back when I was still on Facebook about whether it was clean shoot, not a clean shoot. What there was talk, maybe it was accidental. Was it this? Was it that? And I'm like, okay, let's see what happened here, because some of the stories that were coming out did not make any fucking logical sense at all of what they made it sound like a bunch of ninjas came in and shot this person.
They make it sound like this person woke up in the morning and they set out that day to shoot somebody. Which
if you're looking at it from the officer's perspective, yeah, they made it sound like a bunch of Navy SEALs taking out a fucking warlord.
Right. They make it look like the fucking Navy SEALs were going after fucking Al Qaeda.
Right.
The mission was to kill.
Right, exactly. And and you sit back and just, again, I'm not getting into the details of it, but I'm going, this story that I'm hearing about this doesn't make sense. I need to look into it.
It's always so one-sided. It's insane.
You know what I did? I was like, okay. I typed, the name into Google. One article pops up from Fox. Fox News is typically a more conservative type of publication. So I go through and I read it. Okay, this is what Fox says. I go back. The next one down is from CNN. CNN is typically a more liberal, type of publication. Yep. So I read what CNN said. Then I figure, okay, we'll go check the BBC, see what the BBC says, because the BBC is supposed to have pretty accurate information. It's supposed to be kind of more like the AP, where they just sort of give you cold, hard facts of what happens. There's not a lot of editorialization or anything. Then I go, okay, it's somewhere between Fox News and CNN. What actually happened, it's probably this. It's the only way you can do anything about it anymore, is you have to take the completely far right and the completely far left, and you have to go, okay, it's somewhere in the middle of those two. Because if you're only going to one source, you're just going to get their opinion about what happened. And it's a sad fact, is because there's very few facts in any news anymore.
I'm sorry to say this, but I think there are way more liberal media sources than there are conservative. And the number one, and this is guilty on both parts, number one goal
and you got to figure
each side is to make you think that way. There's no
to make you think they're
it goes
correct.
Back to that. There's no facts. There may be facts. I'm not going to say there's none.
There's
but the agenda isn't to put out
97% opinion.
Yeah, the agenda isn't to put out facts. It's to make you think that way.
I don't want some guy's opinion either on, like they do a quote from some guy and it's like, well, I didn't feel that, they needed to send a missile over to Syria. And it's like, well, I don't feel that I want your opinion. What was going on in Syria that we did that? We didn't just decide to send a $250,000 missile halfway across the fucking world.
Yeah, that's another thing is like, for some reason now Facebook seems to be full of fucking scientists and geniuses and people who seem to know about national security and everything else. It's like, I'm sorry, but you're typing shit on a fucking keyboard.
Right.
Why is your opinion so much more valid than mine? My opinion isn't valid because it isn't the one you like, but you are probably fucking less intelligent to me, judging by the way some of these fucking retards speak than me. But your opinion is more fucking valid. What's that?
Ebonics is a language now.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious. Look it up.
Yeah, I'm glad Jerry gets what we're saying here.
We've converted one.
We've converted. I don't think
All right, so
we had to
here's what
convert.
we
I
got to
think
do.
he like created the way you are.
Well, now he's got to go out and he's got to convert one guy, and then that guy has to convert
Yeah.
another guy, and
Then-
maybe
and then
convert
we're
a
good
couple of women in there too while we're at it, and then that's like 5 guys, and then we got a restaurant that
That's a good
serves
burger place.
it serves a good burger at a somewhat overpriced.
At an overpriced place.
It's okay though;
So-
they give you an ass ton of fries that doesn't really make up for the price of the burger.
Right, it doesn't at all, but it's okay.
It's okay because dude, they got the fresh jalapenos that go on there though. That's
You know, if I have anything, regarding this media shit, if I have anything,
well, if you
to
contradict
advise
somebody,
people
if
with-
you're
investigate for yourself. Look at what you can see is actually factual. Because if you have half a brain, 50% of the thing that's up here, you can see. Exactly. He's always been like that. You can see reading a sentence what is opinion and what is actually a factual derogatory statement. Derogatory? That might not be the right word. Don't quote me on that. I've been drinking.
I don't think you're using it correctly. You're drinking
makes
the
me
tall
sound
boys, too.
smart.
That's like your 4th one. Yeah, derogatory. It's derogatory.
actually
Got
my-
3 syllables.
It's actually
It's got
it's
3
actually my
syllables. That's a good one.
This is actually my 5th 16-ounce beer since we've started this, so don't fucking quote me on anything. I feel like up to this point I've made sense so far, so I'm just gonna roll with
They're
it.
gonna get on you like they got on Eminem.
Yeah, exactly. But just look for yourself. You could see what's a fact, truthfully, especially nowadays.
No, a
Again,
fact looks like
we're-
a fact. It looks like a statistic.
we're not
1 in
going
5
into-
people do this.
We're not going into whether this is right, wrong, this or that. Everything nowadays, people are filming this, filming that. Cops have body cameras. There's cameras everywhere. You can watch a 10-second video of the events that transpired and learn more than reading fucking 20 fucking news articles. Because them fucking idiots, all they're doing is inputting shit as they go along. And they may not be super obvious about it.
They're
They may be
taking
like,
a 10-second video and they're making it a 3-page article now.
right, and
there's only so
it's
much
a
you
load
can
of
write
horse
about
shit.
10 seconds. Well, there's only I mean, I understand it. They've got an editor that's saying you need to make this 3 pages because it's going to go here and we're going to do this with it and blah blah
right,
blah.
and it's not like
whatever.
you're blaming the person
and
who wrote the article. It's just like
he's got an
nature of the
8-second
game.
video that he's got to stretch, or she has got an 8-second video that they've got to stretch out to 3 pages now. Or it's got to be. Actually, it's not really pages.
And
Journalism
when I'm in
always
that
goes with
situation,
word count, but
when I got to choose between doing what the boss says or losing my job and maybe not being able to support my family, well, naturally I'm going to do what the boss says. You know what I mean? I got to keep my life afloat.
exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's just a.
Well, and you go back to it before. There's all these people on there that are they're now scientists and they're lawyers and all these other things. But here's the thing: if you get on there,
that happened yesterday. It's not something that happened last week or last month or last year. This is an accumulation of decades of problems. In the 1960s, early 1960s, John F. Kennedy was president. He was the one that actually initially said we need honesty within the media.
Yeah, you know why?
But without going into any controversies, you see how old of a problem this is. Right then and there, there were suspicions back then.
Yeah, you know why?
Media was dishonest. And then go ahead, throw it in there.
Well, back in don't quote me on the date exactly. Back in the early 1900s somewhere, William Randolph Hearst was the one that came up with, we're going to take the 10-second video. I mean, obviously it wasn't a video then, but we're going to take the 10-second video essentially, and we're going to stretch that out to 15,000 words.
Fucking liar. Yeah, but
that's early 1900s.
Right. This has been going on for longer than most of us have been alive.
I can't remember who it may have been William Randolph Hearst. I'm not 100% sure, but there's that famous quote from the Vietnam War of, you provide the photographs and I'll provide the war.
Right.
And I know it was somebody
Exactly.
in journalism that said that, and they're like, oh, yeah, we're gonna write whatever the fuck we want, keep this war going because it's good
cash
media
cow.
and it's easy. Yeah.
Comes down to this. Money.
Exactly. And I mean,
Because Jerry, I'll let you answer this. What do those views equal? You answer that one. You know the answer. So does Nick. So do I.
we all know the answer. Are we talking about views? He didn't say anything about views.
Shh.
Okay.
Listen here, motherfucker. I'm 5 16-ounce beers deep. Don't fucking question me. I think I have one more still. Song from Don Henley, Dirty Laundry. That's 20 plus years old.
Is that Don Henley or is that
Exactly.
is that Don Henley? I thought Dirty Laundry was Pink Floyd.
No, it's definitely not Pink Floyd.
No?
No.
All right, let's go. Let's see what Google says. Google knows everything. It's clearly a man.
Oh yeah, great. Here we go. What did we just fucking talk about?
Oh no, he's right. No, he's right.
Yeah,
okay, he's right. I didn't think it was Don Henley. It doesn't sound like him.
Talked about, hey, don't listen to everything you hear.
Don't believe everything you read. What is it? Don't believe everything you read and only believe half of what you see.
Really. The only way to truly know the facts about a given situation is to be the one who can see it step by step by step by step. And most of the time, need your question again. So, all right, 1 second. Is to either be A, one of the people involved, or B, you're dedicated to filming every situation. And Jerry, the question was, what do those views we spoke of earlier equal? What is the root of all evil in this country?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, that was a good one. Mr. Die Hard,
Well,
did you hear it?
There's a documentary out there. It's called Stevie. It's a pretty decent documentary if anybody wants to check it out. I think it's on Amazon Prime for free. But there's this one point. Okay, so what this guy did, he's accused of molesting his second cousin or some shit. She's like 5 years old, something like that. So he's accused of that, right? And he goes to jail and he gets bailed out, and him and his friend are going fishing. And the guy that's filming the documentary is a guy named Steve James, and he says to the guy Stevie's friend, hey, what do you think about Stevie? And he goes, oh, he seems okay. And he says, yeah, but I mean, what do you think about that? The accusations against him? And he goes, oh, they're pretty serious. And he goes, and the guy is like trying to get out of him, like, what he's trying to get it out, but the guy's just giving him these like short one answer questions. And he said, he finally just comes out with the question and says, well, do you think he did it? And this guy, it's all shot in rural Illinois, and I mean,
that's a good point there, Jerry. But there's something else.
Hey, shut the hell up! I'm telling a story.
The color green.
Heineken. No.
What I say about your?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, rural Illinois is like rural West Virginia. I mean,
Right.
these guys are rednecks, and this guy is like the redneck Buddha when he says this. He just looks this director square in the face, like right in the camera, and he just goes, well, there ain't but two people that know what happened that night, and I ain't one of them. And it's like,
Boom.
if more of us took that kind of approach to a lot of this shit, we'd all be a lot fucking happier.
Right. Because
I don't know about you, but I've been really happy being off of Facebook and not having to worry about who the fuck I'm supposed to be saying happy birthday to today.
I've had people
that I don't care about because I
family
haven't talked
members
to them
and
in
everything
12
else.
years.
They're all like, "Oh, did you see what was on Facebook?" I'm like, you know what? Actually, I did. My shit is deleted. It's gone. It doesn't exist. And they're like, "Oh yeah, it's probably for the better." I'm like, "Yeah, it is," because
You should try it sometime.
I don't get upset about what people say. I don't get stressed out about the shit I see people post or that. It's gone. It's not there anymore.
So
And I have no urge when I open my phone up to go to a social media.
Fucking waste 20 minutes on it.
It's gone. And at my house where I live now, because for those of you who don't know, since the last live stream, I have moved. I do no longer live where I did before.
Moved. I mean, you're gonna sit in the same chair for fucking 3, 6, 8 weeks. How long has it been? Jesus, you gotta get up to go to the bathroom at some point.
At some point or another, especially as much as I drink. But
admitting it's half the battle.
In the same area or anything, but in this place, I don't have cable. I don't have the normal channels everyone has. I don't see the news. I don't see the shit the news posts on Facebook, nothing. And my life is so much better. I don't get upset as much. It's just all that bullshit is gone.
No, you're not worried about who got a new fucking TV in their living room. And is it bigger than mine? I don't care.
It's
just
so much better. I mean, and like I said, I initially loved the social media because we was finding a lot of funny memes, and I started some groups. And we had the RVing tradesman in the past is now the tradesman. And
tradesman
for a shout out for the guys, they may not see it or whatever, but the HVAC Uncensored group, I met a lot of great people through their group. I met Nick through that group.
I met you too, buddy.
I wouldn't know Nick if it wasn't for that Facebook group, So there's
Evan Morgan.
Reasons.
I mean, he's a super cool
right. Evan Morgan, his wife, man. There's plenty of reasons I am thankful for Facebook, truly. But
and that's something that we're never going to be able to take away from Facebook.
Those reasons that I'm thankful just don't outweigh the cons anymore. It's just
Girth. We met Girth.
Speaking of which, we got to start like a Google Hangout or something, so I could still talk to Girth. I don't have.
You never did get to talk to Girth.
Yeah, I need to talk to her. Where's his wife?
We got to figure
What's her name? What's her name? I want to call her out, but I don't want to be.
Angie.
Angela, tell Girth we need to start a fucking Google Hangout.
We need to figure out how to text internationally.
I need to be able to text internationally. I need to know what's going on in Australia.
It's a fucking kangaroo
I didn't say
country,
Austria
buddy.
this time. Last time I said fucking Austria.
It's a kangaroo country. No, but
and I actually want to talk to Girth about coming down to Australia potentially in the future.
That'd be cool.
Dude, I've always wanted to go there. And my old lady's like, well, I want to go to Australia. I'm like,
question is, how do I get my truck and my rifles over there?
Yeah, it's like, how do I take this?
Hey, where's Angie?
And the vehicle that's tied to this to Australia. Wait, that's upside down.
Angie, how do we get one of those into Australia?
How do we get what's in my hands right now to Australia?
That's what we need. Please find out and report back.
I know, Girth only has fucking like slingshots or shit like that, but and he has that.
I don't think they're even allowed that much. No, but okay. So real quick, I'm gonna say one thing. I'm gonna tell a little quick anecdotal story, and then we're gonna get the hell off here because it's like 11 o'clock, and I don't know.
I hear you. I hear you, Jerry.
I've been up since 5 o'clock. So,
I've only been up since 6.
Fucking
and I'm only
lazy ass motherfucker.
I'm only like 8 16-ounce beers deep. I have nothing to worry about.
It's easy shoot your way in. I mean, me and Jay have probably got enough that we could take over the whole country in a matter of a couple hours.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, yeah. Worst case scenario, we'll get.
I probably have more bullets than Australia has guns.
Definitely. If we combined, we probably outnumber their.
I'd probably outnumber we'd probably outnumber the population.
Worst case scenario, we'll bring the fuzz in on the job.
You know who you are.
Yeah, that's right.
Man, Jerry has fucking missed these live streams, dude. He is. So
he
active.
really has, dude. I mean, look at
that's cool.
Him.
I'm glad to see him active. You know, I'm
It's
not
just,
saying
it's
he
just
was
all
quiet
him.
or anything before, but you know, it's cool to see people being active in it, and you know, it makes seeing all these people active in the comments and everything. And you know, it makes it worth it for me.
All one of them.
The people are enjoying. It doesn't matter if there's only 5 of you. You know what I mean? If you guys are having fun, I'm having fun.
For a minute, for about 5 minutes there, we hit 10 people.
Fucking double digits, bro. Here's the thing I would like to mention to you guys before me and Nick decide to wind down, because we'll probably find something to wind down with.
I got something to wind down with. Go ahead and do your thing, and then I'll wind it
we
down.
Want to. I mean, whether he wants to know or not, I don't give a fuck about him. But
I don't give a fuck.
I want to know whether you guys actually truly want these live streams to happen or not. I don't know if we'll ever get back to the weekly thing like we did before, but
I think that was too much.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit too much given to where we are currently. You know, not only viewer wise, but
it's hard, dude. I mean, you got to find stuff
for content
when you
when you don't have anybody suggesting things. It's tough. You know, we could only ramble for so. Jerry, we would love to get you live on the show. Truthfully, I would be truly happy to have you on the show. So I would like Monica, if you're still watching, I would like you to put up a post in the Tradesman to see if people not only still want the live show, how often do we want? Once a month, twice a month? You know, I don't think we'll ever get back to.
I think twice a month is doable.
I think twice a month is doable. Obviously, once a month is very doable because we could just arrange a day and be like, okay, there we go. But you know, if we wanted to do more frequently, twice a month is definitely doable. But we want to obviously know if you guys want that. You know what I mean?
Tell us. Have you missed this over the last
three
probably months? It's probably been,
not to call him out again, but obviously Jerry's enjoying this, and you know I'm glad to see him, and I'm glad he texted me. I'm glad to have his phone number again, so we can, you know, we don't even have to talk about anything. You know, even if I don't need him for something, I could say, hey, you know, how's everything going, buddy? You know, but I like to be personable with all you guys. Most of the
time, me and Jay just fucking send pictures back and forth of shit.
That's mostly what me and Nick do, truthfully. And if
most of it cannot be shared on the show.
I was gonna say, very, very, very little bit of that is actually HVAC related shit. Most of it is X-rated.
It's not what you think. It's not women that are being shared back. It's, you know, it's not like pictures we find of women. It's pictures of each other. We're like, dude, hey man, check this out. Yeah, that's right.
Oh wait, this is the fifth.
Is it supposed to have this weird curve?
That's the fifth 16-ounce beer down.
See if you can pound the last one.
Oh, that. Do I have one more? Oh, yeah, I do. It's funny.
All right.
I keep forgetting my mini fridge in my old house, but I have a cooler next to me full of beers.
You too, huh?
Yeah. I have a mini fridge in my house. I keep forgetting it.
Dude, check this out. I got you right here. I got these out because I'm drinking Heinekens and I don't have twist off, and I can't stand beer out of a can. It's got to be out of a bottle. Dude, I have a bottle opener on my set of keys.
Bottle opener?
No, it's a lift safety bottle opener. I'll have you know, because I am a safe cat.
I had a Bud Light one that was literally the same shape and everything. That's why I asked. It was my dad's.
It's like they're all made the same shape.
Here's my bottle opener. my wallet.
Oh, nice.
This hooks on the bottom and up she goes.
No, I got it on my keys because drinking and driving is good. I
Not
think is
good?
the message here. It's kind of
See,
conflicting.
you gotta be like me. I keep my keys separate from my bottle opener because I don't drink and drive.
Yeah, well, weapons and alcohol don't mix, and I'm not going to
Oh,
say
look
anything.
at that! You want to know the best vehicle brand in the world? Right there. This picture says it all.
You're
you
feeling
drive a
pretty good
Chevy-
about yourself right now, ain't you?
If you drive a Chevy or a Ford, fuck you. Just kidding.
All right,
That's it.
I'm gonna give you my little anecdote here, and then we're gonna close this out because we've been going for like 2 hours now.
What do we want to do to close this out? We got to do something good.
I told you. I just told you how we're gonna break it down. It's gonna be the anecdote, and then we're gonna close it.
All right, well, hurry up. God damn it. I got to drink.
Okay, so I got rid of Facebook, and a lot of people may or may not know that I was a moderator or an admin for about 25 different groups on Facebook. That's a slight exaggeration, but in all
Sorry.
serious,
To interrupt you, but Jerry, reply what is handmade? I may have missed what we were talking about or something.
he's talking about the bottle opener. There's
Oh,
like a 5-second delay. Yeah, he's still on the last thing.
I miss subjects sometimes, so sorry about that.
No,
Yeah,
well,
I was-
it's kind of hard sometimes because if we move on to another topic, there's 5-10 seconds depending on internet connections and all that.
It's like topics can switch in about half a second, but meanwhile comments are like 30 seconds late.
Right.
But yeah,
So-
I was a big admin moderator too, like Nick was here, especially with HVAC Uncensored, which, you know, if you guys are
I felt bad about leaving those guys behind, but
I truly did too, you know, and that was one of my biggest callings for Facebook, you know, and I've often thought about starting another one just to kind of put into that because Gil Cavey and Brian Lee and Kelly McKay, those guys have been super supportive to this channel multiple
he
times.
says I type slow.
And those guys, you know, have known that we aren't on Facebook anymore, and those guys are still have a group chat with us. They still talk to us and everything else. And those guys aren't the only ones. Matt Cantrell, Matt Mitchell.
There's
You all know who you are, but you know,
none of you watch.
I thoroughly enjoyed being a part of HVAC Uncensored, and I certainly enjoyed
just for that group of core guys.
Yeah, I certainly enjoyed being a part of, you know, being a moderator with them. You know, it was a lot different back when I joined or we joined.
Right.
Christ, there was like 2,000 people or something. There's probably like, what, 50,000 people or something now. You know, it's
probably yeah.
It's a totally different world now than what it
exploded.
was. So I've still been contemplating that and talking to the guys, you know, to get back on Facebook maybe and just to do that, you know, because I miss that. I really like that group. I really like seeing what people did and hearing what, you know, people.
Even that group, I mean, has become, and not to take away from those guys. I really do not mean to take away from them, and it's not their fault. But I mean, you get a guy that's on there. It's like, oh, you fucking hack! I can't believe that you put leak seal on that. You know, it's like, dude. If the customer's not paying for me to replace the coil, they're going to pay me to put leak seal in it. I'm going to put leak seal in it. I'm not replacing the coil for what it costs to put leak seal in it because that's the better repair.
There's nothing those guys can do.
I don't know what their
the
fucking financial situation is.
That's the nature of the internet. There's nothing those guys can do. And too many people, too many times on there complain about these admins, this and this.
Well, they're just your keyboard warriors.
We have 8 people managing 50,000 people. How do you control that shit? You know what I mean?
this got through, and this guy said something about this.
This guy said this, and it got through, but I said this, and it didn't. Yeah, I mean, come on.
This guy posted a picture, and in the picture in the background, a car 3 houses down had a political bumper sticker in it, and you said no political shit, and it's like, well, what the hell do I even do about that?
Right. It's one of those things that sucks, but I've considered getting back on because those guys were always super supportive, not only of this channel, but before me and Nick were even, doing live streams, and even before we were really moderators of that channel, we talked to them guys on a regular basis. They talked to us about HVAC stuff. We always watched the podcast and everything else. And actually, I don't know if you were, but I was a part of the podcast at one point or another.
Yeah, I've done a couple of shows with them.
Okay. I thought you would.
2 or 3, yeah.
I filled in for Kelly one week or something, but it's so.
Well, and they're good guys, and they've always had our back, and we always had their back. And I mean, not Kelly, but Gil hit me up one day. It was, I think, a Wednesday night, and he was like, "Dude, I know it's short notice. I don't have a guest. I need somebody. Can you help me out?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude." Yeah. Like what time are we getting on?
And I'm not even going to say that we agreed at all times. There was plenty of times in the chat that we all of us were arguing, like, no, fuck you, this is bullshit, but we always solved it amongst ourselves. At some point or another, we always, said, listen, fuck you, you're wrong, and this and that, and then everybody realized that, yeah, fuck him, he's wrong, and we worked it all out. And that's what I loved about it, is it was a true to form thing where, you could truly say your opinion and it was heard. People were like, yeah, he's kind of right on this and this and that. And, there was times that I was wrong. There was times that Gil was wrong. There was times that Brian was wrong. It's going to happen. There was times that Matt and, both Matts were wrong. Or
yep,
Nick
Matt.
All
right, shut the fuck up. You're interrupting me.
It never affected anything. So, to you guys, cheers.
But anyway, so when I decided I was getting off Facebook, I went through all the different groups that I moderated that weren't my own, and I said, look, I'm getting off Facebook at the time, it was going to be a temporary thing. Like, I got to get off here for 2 weeks, a month. I can't do this shit anymore. And it became from a 2-week thing to a month, and then a month became 2 months, and 2 months has gone to 3 months now. And, getting in with those, keeping up with those guys and saying, hey, look, I don't know if you want to replace me as a moderator. If you do, that's perfectly fine. I understand, whatever.
Yeah, I remember I even said to them, like, if you want to oust us, that's fine.
It's whatever. Yeah.
But so, none of them ever actually wanted to. They were like, no, bullshit.
No, and I've had 3 groups that have told me the exact same thing of like, no, you're good. You can stay in the group chats.
That's one of those good things about Facebook is, sometimes it does unite people.
But one of the guys, and I've got like his personal phone number, we talk and stuff like that. He sent me this. Besides you, I know people other than you.
What the fuck?
He sent me a meme, and it's the funniest thing ever, and it really relates to what we're talking about here. And when I told him, he says, hang on, I've got a meme for this. And like a minute later, this text comes through, and he says, this is you. And it's a picture of a guy sitting in the woods next to like a waterfall or something, I think, right? And it just says, somewhere there's someone out there in the woods who's supposed to be afraid of something right now, and he has no idea of it. And he's like, that's you. He's like, you're that guy. And I was like, you know what? You're exactly right. Because all this crap on Facebook about, this is the next thing that's going to kill us. And this is the next thing that we're all doing wrong as a society. And this is the next this, or, all this keeping up with the Joneses shit just went away because it's not in your face anymore. Mm-hmm. And and anybody that wants to know why I'm not on Facebook anymore, that's why.
It was one of those things where you got to make a pros and cons list. And for a long time, the pros outweighed the cons, especially before.
And when it stopped being fun. That's the
HVAC.
thing.
I'm not
supposed
gonna
to be
lie.
fun.
I'm not promoting these guys because they're my friends. HVAC Uncensored
Liar.
was a lot of my time. That was a
Oh
lot of
my God.
I
When they
spent
went
a
to
lot of time with
approving
that,
every post,
and especially
you guys
before
gotta
our
you guys
mods.
gotta understand, this group would get no less. I mean, this was a slow day. This was truly a slow day. No less than probably 75 to 100 group join requests. And then they went to, and I understand why they went to this, but, and I'm not
Post approval,
complaining.
man, that was tough.
When they went to post approval, you're talking about you'd get 300, 400, 500 posts that you would need to read and look at the pictures on and all this crap and decide, can I
In a
put this
couple
up?
hours.
Is somebody going to be arguing about it? All this crap.
It was
to
it was a
500
lot,
a day.
but I miss.
And then you've got people that are posting stuff double because they posted it doesn't get approved. Then they post it again. Jay goes through, approves it. I didn't see that Jay approved it because the only fucking thing I've been doing all day is approving other posts. So then I approve it, and then there's people bitching that it's posted twice. And it was like, this isn't fun. This is a second full-time job. And
and I'm not arguing this group at all. I love that group. I miss the days when there was like 5,000 or 6,000 people, and it was like me,
and it was me, you, Evan, and Amanda making fun of Bill McAnus.
Bill McAnus. Ryan Leary was in there. Back when we were talking about the Hamburglar, you're talking about when Michael Lee was still with us.
Yeah,
God rest his soul. Michael Lee was the coolest dude in the world in the HVAC industry. Sadly, is not with us anymore.
I learned so much about the weather in Texas from that guy.
Coolest dude in the world. I can message him and ask him a question, anything, anytime.
You'd have a response within a minute.
Yeah, I miss that guy truly. He was one of the greatest guys for this industry. And you know what? I'm not dogging anybody else. Gil Cavey, Brian Lee are all good guys like that. And also, Ryan Leary. I don't think he's watches or anything like that, but he's a good guy too.
We got to get him on here. We got to get him on the Common Sense
I might
show.
actually, if we decide that we want to do another live stream, it might be a good idea to do like an HVAC live stream. For the people in our trade, have Ryan on here, have Gil Cavey on here. Have Girth on here just because he's a fucking Australian.
Just because he's fucking crazy. All right, dude, we're rambling.
Yeah, we're rambling. It's like fucking over 2 hours long.
Yeah, it's turning into an HVAC overtime show.
It happens,
Yeah.
We both started drinking. I'm fucking 6-pounders deep after having fucking 3-pounders before this fucking video. So I'm like,
you're feeling
9-pounders deep. 9 16-ounce beers later, here I am on fucking YouTube.
The main takeaway from all this is respect everyone's beliefs and demand that they respect yours.
That's it.
And it's from Tecumseh's poem, if nobody knows where that's from.
If you don't respect their beliefs, they ain't going to respect yours. But if you respect theirs and they don't respect yours, they ain't worth your time.
Exactly. And with I'm clicking the end broadcast button.
Bye-bye.